City. This is 402 Business Insider with Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish on 1499.3 KLIN.
And you're listening to the 402 Business Insider. I'm Travis Filing, and with me as always, Gary Tharnish. How you doing, Gary?
I am doing fabulous. It's a great day.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
beautiful out there.
Yep.
I want to announce we have another new sponsor.
Awesome.
So Lincoln Coin and Bullion is a new
good.
sponsor with us. So, and their first segment is sponsored by them. It's also sponsored by Western National Bank and the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. I know those guys.
Yeah, we know someone from there.
Yeah. Before we get into it, I got to tell you, so I'm constantly reminded why it is so important to hire a professional, underline professional real estate agent.
Yes.
So a friend of my son, one of his coworkers, just put an offer in on a house, and he's talking to my son. He goes, "Hey, we just put an offer in on a house in a neighboring town, and we're going to be neighbors." And Alex goes, "Oh, okay, where's it at?" And he tells him, and he goes, "We looked at that house like 4 or 5 years ago. Do you know the history of this house?"
No.
And he goes, "No." He goes, "You might want to check. That thing goes up on the market every year." And it literally does.
Oh,
and in the last, I think it was 8 years, it had been listed and sold 7 times.
Red flag.
And the guy goes, "Oh, let me call my agent." Calls his agent and goes, "What's the buy sell history on this?" He goes, "I don't know. Do you want me to check?" To which the kid should have said, "You're fired."
Yeah.
But my gosh, I got a fair amount of real estate, and I still use a professional real estate agent because you always catch some things that I miss, and I buy real estate.
Yeah.
So if you are looking for a house, looking for a building, whatever it is, you have to call a professional real estate agent. And I use Gary. I'm a little biased, but so
good for you.
There you go.
Yes. Call Home Design Real Estate Group. We
that's
will
right.
take good care of you.
Yes, they will.
And it does make a big difference.
It does.
Big.
It does, because we just saved this kid thousands and thousands of dollars
and a huge
at
headache.
least. But our guest today, Jason Ball with the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. How you doing?
I am fantastic, Travis. Gary, thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
For coming in on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, look, I would never want to be anywhere else on a Saturday, but in here at KLIN talking about business.
Talking about the chamber.
Yeah,
that's right. And it's so funny because every time we have guests come in, we always go, "You a member of the chamber?" Yep. The only one that hasn't was the one that's out of town. That's everybody else is a member. It is so important.
We'll bring them in as a member too.
Well,
you can be out of town and be a member of this chamber.
I'll hook them up. I'll hook them up. So for our listeners that aren't really familiar with the chamber or don't attend events, let's just talk about the chamber. Kind of give us that nice 30,000-foot view, what the chamber is, what you do, and how you serve businesses.
Yeah. So the chamber has been an institution in Lincoln for more than 100 years now. We go back to the days of the Lincoln Commercial Club, and it has been an institution that's evolved over time. But I think what some people generally think of as a chamber, we do the ribbon cuttings, we do the annual meeting, and we do the luncheons, and we do the advocacy stuff. We also, through a partnership with Lancaster County, house the Visit Lincoln program. It used to be called the Convention and Visitors Bureau. We got a whole team of people that is marketing Lincoln as a destination for visitors and tourism to come to Lincoln. We're working on things like the convention center with that group. And then we have a separate affiliated 501c6 organization called the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development. I am also the president of that group, and that group does all of our workforce development programs, all of our business recruitment and local business support programs, as well as our entrepreneurship and startup programs. So full tilt, all in. We're a team of 26. I say, in the vernacular of our industry, we're a full service chamber. We house all those activities in our organization. At the end of the day, we are led by our strategic plan, which you can find on our website at lcoc.com. It's called Vitality Lincoln, and we are here to grow the economic pie. So there's more activity in Lincoln, some more startups can happen, some more people can pursue a better life for themselves and their family.
It's fantastic. And you guys, like you say, you do so much more than just ribbon cuttings.
Yeah.
And that's what people think of because it's kind of out in the front.
Well, it's, the thing about ribbon cuttings, it's a visible thing. And while I get excited about, the convention center work or working on the ball fields or that, the new business that we get to bring to town, like those are things that get me up and motivated every single day. But boy, when you go to a business that has made a new investment in office space and maybe added a couple, 1 or 2 team members at a small 10-person business, right? Boy, doing that ribbon cutting, doing that formalized recognition of being able to say thank you on behalf of our community, thank you for growing and investing here in Lincoln. That's a special moment. So, I always want people to know we do so much more than only that type of work, but that's an important part of the job too. And I love just getting to engage with people that are so excited about what they're doing.
As a business owner, one thing and talking to other businesses and people about joining the chamber or really any organization, Centersphere, BNI, whatever kind of group it is, a lot of times I'd get this, well, I just don't have the time for it, which I get. I mean, I had a business for 38 years. I went from three employees to 29 employees to 12 to 18. I felt like I never had time. Yeah. Of course, we manufactured everything we sent out every day. So I was busy, but I joined right away business organizations because there's so much you do on behalf of us that we cannot possibly do. Yep. I'm busy doing HR, marketing. Well, my staff usually sent me in the hallway to talk to myself for HR. That's how that works.
Write yourself
but HR, you have to do all that stuff. And I was like, when would I ever have time to go to a chamber thing? And I still get that today. And I tell people because they're a collective voice for you, watching what's going on in the legislature, in the county, at the city hall, and they are a voice for us. And I would also get this kickback a lot. Well, the chamber is just for big business. I'm like, really? Like, isn't it like 70% of your members are small business?
70% of our membership.
Yeah, it's the collective that's very important. So how's membership growing? It's
membership-based organizations are in a weird environment right now, and that's not Lincoln. That's national.
True.
I will say this chamber is so fortunate to be so well supported by the community of Lincoln, and we're extremely grateful for that.
Yeah.
And so we're on a trend of I'll call it steady, stable growth. Right. Good. It's not hockey stick growth by any stretch. And I remind our team every day, look, we got to go out and earn it. Right. I think a lot of chambers sometimes kind of fall backwards accidentally into feeling like, well, we're an organization in here. Businesses should just show up at our doorstep. No, we got to go out and help people understand the value. We got to make sure that we're producing value in the community, and that is seen. And I think we're moving the ball on that. I love it that you mentioned, the big business, small business dynamic, because I cannot tell you how many times I've gone into a big business and they'll say, well, we know you're just here to help small businesses and get people to shop locally. And then I'll go into a small business and they'll say, well, we know you're just here to help big businesses and help them, do better in Lincoln. And look, the beautiful thing about the work that we do and what's written in our strategic plan is big business and small business benefit from that work, right?
Exactly.
Good business policy is the foundation that's going to benefit a business of any size, type, and industry. Economic growth is going to bring more people for more labor force and workforce here in Lincoln. Like the things that big business needs are so related to the things that small business needs, and the areas where they may be different. We need to be sensitive to that, but they're so few and far between. They really, really are.
Well, and you're like a concierge service, really. Only that you're not at a hotel. Right. You're the City of Lincoln concierge service, when it comes to business and everything that's happening. And if you sit back and you're not a member of an organization such as the chamber and you own a business, you are letting other people speak for you, and you need to join because the collective is so important. I feel when it comes to legislation, is it important for individual people to call their legislature when important legislation is up? Yes. Yeah. But guess what? The foundation for that legislation is laid well before it gets there. And you're part of that. The chamber is a real strong voice for laying those foundations in all sorts of legislation,
Well, on the advocacy front, we're so fortunate. We have two team members actually. One is at the state level, one is at the local and like county level, that are spending all day, every day, kind of paying attention to what's going on and advocating about those bills. Both those team members sometimes will pull me in, but more importantly, sometimes we'll do partnerships with the Omaha Chamber of Commerce at the federal and state level, or even at the local level, we'll pull in other groups. And so, and we do a whole lot of work with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce as well. And so it gives your business a direct way to influence in a way that's going to help your business. The policies that are getting made at the State House, at the city county building, and even in Washington, D.C. And we take that work really seriously. And because a business person at the end of the day, they want to focus on what their passion is and growing that business. We want to enable that. We think we do. But boy, when there's an issue that's important to them, we're able to rapidly elevate that to the top.
Well, usually Pam Dingman keeps me ahead of what's going on, but if I miss a call from her or something, it's great when you can open an email and go, whoa, I didn't know this was out here. Thank you for letting me know. I mean, it's important. It's so important.
It is. It really is. And some of the things too that I think are really important are you guys have so many groups. And Gary and I have talked about this a lot. It is so important just to be in and talking and working with other businesses. Yeah. And you kind of are that umbrella that brings small, medium, large businesses all together in the same room through different events and different get-togethers. And I think that's absolutely crucial because as business owners, sometimes you feel like you're out there on an island. You're all by yourself, and you're not. And everybody that's within this group has been through it, they've struggled through it, and they can help you through it. And that's one thing I just love about the chamber is just being able to connect with other business owners. So
welcome back to the 402 Business Insider on KLIN 1400 and FM 99.3. This segment is sponsored by a couple of our really good sponsors, Sartor Heyman Jewelers and Complete Family Dermatology. I should go there today and get my face fixed, and I'll buy a ring for my mom for tomorrow. That would work.
There you go.
Right? There we go. Create some business.
Yeah, it is Mother's Day this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah. So today we have a very special guest, Jason Ball from the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. Welcome again.
Yes, thank you. Good to be here.
You're welcome. What effects are you seeing in today's market on businesses? We were kind of off air talking a little bit about tariffs, and I'm seeing that affecting things truly. I mean, there's a lot of fear and unknown, which is the worst thing for business, right? Yeah. Are you seeing that from members? Are you hearing about it? Is it an issue yet? I mean, I know we send all the headlines, but...
Yeah. So I would say the uncertainty that's created by some of the wild swings all by themselves, just in terms of policy, when policy, drifts one way and then, the market's up, and then policy announced in a different direction, the market's down. Right. That makes it a difficult environment for businesses to plan in. And that's what I've been hearing probably the most from our membership about. Certainly Lincoln does have some exposure specific to tariffs, and I'm concerned that I don't even know that we've seen the first shoe to drop on that. Yeah. Because having the conversations I'm having privately with businesses that are saying, look, here's what we're watching for. I remain cautiously optimistic that we'll have more deals that the president and his team hopefully will be announcing soon. We had the deal get announced with England here this week, for example, and so I'm hoping for more good news with that. Sure. I am so grateful to the Nebraska delegation. They've been great throughout all this. And so when we do have a business that's really putting up a warning flag and expressing a lot of concern, obviously that's not something I can just pick up the phone and talk to Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, about. But you know what? We can go to Senator Fisher, Senator Ricketts, who also had a lot of overseas relationships that he developed as Governor Ricketts. Sure. And Congressman Flood. They've all been plugged in and very responsive to the needs of business. But that's probably the number one thing that I'm hearing about right now is just the uncertainty that's been created by this and all the supplier relationships that are associated with it.
Right.
And one thing I would say is for, we're all business owners. Don't worry about it until it's time to worry about it.
Yes.
So many people are freaked out about it because they think this may happen or that may happen. Just relax. I'm not seeing anything in my business now. I might. I don't know. I mean, we do have some where it may affect, but right now, that's why I write a check to the chamber. Let them worry about it. And you'll tell me when it's time to worry
And
about
I do
it.
worry about it right now. So,
Dude, Jason, it's all on your shoulders.
There it is.
There you
There
go.
it
We
is.
just firmly planted it there today on this show. Good luck,
The
my
Lincoln
friend.
Chamber of Commerce, fixing international trade
That's
policy.
right. That's right.
You heard it here first.
Oh, there you go.
But in all sincerity,
Yeah.
a lot of business owners, they get so freaked out. And every election year this happens, right? If you're one political side and the other side wins, it's Armageddon. The world's going to end. And then it switches and the other side freaks out. And you know what? If every single election in our lifetime on the national level went the opposite way, every one of them, your life would be pretty close to the same what it is right now. So
I'm going to create enemies, but I think our current president is mouthy. So one of the problems I have with that is most of us don't want to see how sausage is made, but we love it. Right?
Yeah.
So just make the sausage, and when it's done, let us know what's going on, because it's that this day we're here, we're going to tariff everybody, and it's going to start tomorrow. Everything tumbles. People freak out the next day. It's, oh, we're going to do 90 days. That's just one thing that just kills me. It's just kind of like, just make it, and then let our delegation representing Nebraska and every other state work with it, and then boom, it's out.
What I'd love to add to that, though, is do communicate. Right. I think it's good advice to say, let's, it's not productive, to panic. Right. But where and how conditions are changing, or you're getting different information from suppliers, or supplier relationships change, or access to foreign markets has changed as a result of this for your business. Do communicate that. Again, I got a team of 26 people that is really good at feeding me back information, or the appropriate person on our team, and working with our federal delegation. So I think early communication is an appropriate response for businesses to be thinking about too.
Yeah. Once something's a little bit set in stone. I see both sides of that.
Yeah.
So are you seeing people that distribute their product internationally having problems already from?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to raise concerns unnecessarily by expressing this, but we have a lot of supplier relationships that come into Nebraska. Our manufacturing sector does have a lot of exposure. There was a really good article that the Journal Star did about the escalating cost of steel and what that impact is going to be on the casino build for Warhorse Casino, as well as in the housing market, which you both well know is a market that's seen some price escalation. And look, the timing of this, in my view, could not be worse, because we've just been through this period of historically high inflation. The Fed, had to really walk a fine line with interest rates to, get the economy back where it needed to be. They talked a lot about it. You remember 3 years ago, we were all talking about, can they do the soft landing in the economy to get inflation back down to a closer to 2% level without creating, huge unemployment or overslowing the economy. And by and large, we did that. And again, I think that's a compliment to the American institutions and leadership that we have in this country, as well as the American business community that made that possible. And so I find it unfortunate that we're in this trade discussion that we're in right now, just because we had just made it to the other side of most of that interest rate pain. And I'm ready to get back to work. The American economy, I said this on a video the other day, I never bet against the American economy. Yeah. It's amazingly resilient, and we've got decades and decades and decades to show that it's come through worse. That gives me great confidence. We're going to come through this just fine too as a business community, but policymakers need to provide some certainty and long-term strategy for that to settle down a little bit.
Well, and if you think about it, there's always something. Right now we're worried about tariffs. Before that, it was hyperinflation. Before that, it was COVID.
Yeah.
Before that, it was the real estate crash. So there is always something that we're going to be dealing with. And again, it's just make sure you're focused on the right things. It's the keep your head down and just keep grinding through it. So now you have been at several chambers.
Mhm.
You were in Kansas, you were in Texas, right?
Yep. Yeah.
South
And South
Dakota.
Dakota.
And South Dakota.
Yep.
Okay. And in the same role?
Yeah. Yeah. As executive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of those experiences and things that you've
Yeah.
learned that you've brought to the Lincoln Chamber.
Yeah. Different states and every chamber in and of itself are really different flavors of the work. And so there's certainly those themes that you would expect. Businesses need certainty, businesses need support, they want engagement, they want to influence their community. So those are the things that you'll find the same everywhere. But boy, I had the great honor to lead the Hutchinson and Reno County Chamber of Commerce in Central Kansas. That's an economy that has a Siemens wind nacelle facility. The nacelle is the big thick top of a wind tower, not the blades and not the tower itself. And they're just so proud of what they do for the energy economy there. And yet at the time I was there was just some wonky legislation that they were looking at in the State House in Topeka, and that was going to be deleterious to growing that arm of the economy. And so we had to really stick up for that. Working in Round Rock, Texas, was the chamber I was at just previously. It's the first suburb north of Austin, right? And what an amazing time. That's an economy where all the workforce in the world, I think, and almost every company because of that is trying to go at the same time. That creates its own set of problems.
Sure.
And Round Rock's in a great position, but some of the surrounding communities, they're having considerations like water shortages, or at least not being able to build new homes as fast as they would otherwise want to because of access to water. That's going to be a long-term ongoing issue. Certainly traffic and transportation, and then cost of housing in those areas. And then number one thing in the Austin Metro, if you ask any company there, what's your biggest challenge? They will say workforce, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Lincoln is not that different. Nebraska is not that different when it comes to the perceived need of workforce. And so we did a lot of workforce programming there, designed to help businesses access people resources better. And we do a lot of that here.
So on that note, what exactly are you doing to try and help people with the workforce?
Yeah, well, look, I mentioned the Partnership for Economic Development. Just last week, we had our largest ever hiring and career fair at the F Street Community Center. We had over 250 job seekers, and I think something like 30 companies participating. That's probably our largest ever. And if you go back, 3 years, there were a couple of those events where we threw them together, and we felt fortunate to have 40 job seekers show up, right? So something has kind of evolved in the economy. People are looking around for opportunity more. That's a better hiring environment for our businesses. So we're glad to see that happen. But access to that, we have the Lincoln Manufacturing Council. It's an award-winning program that's been led by our manufacturers. That's to introduce people who have never been in any aspect of manufacturing to here's what it would be like to come into this industry, because a lot of people have misconceptions about what that work environment would be like. We want to educate them on what that looks like, and that's been very successful. We're running, I think 2 classes of 15 people each right now through the Lincoln Manufacturing Council.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you're back on the 402 Business Insider. This segment sponsored by James Arthur Vineyards and the Barry Law Group. Barry is actually helping my son-in-law. He was a veteran. They do a lot of work with veterans, and they are going to come in. He's actually going to talk to us, I think, here in a couple of weeks.
Weekend.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. Today, talking with Jason Ball, we're talking the chamber.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the different programs. We had brushed on, like the president's coffee, which I got to go to the first one. That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was kind of a nice, easy, let's have a chat. Let's talk to you businesses. What's going on? And you have so many of these programs. Let's throw a few of them out. Let's chat about it.
And I'll say at the front end, because I'm going to shoot through all of this real quick, but I'm going to miss a bunch of stuff too. So you can always go to lcoc.com and check out our events page and get a better milieu of what we're doing. But we have
milieu.
We have the.
I've got a spare million. If you need it, you're fine.
All right, you guys talk. I'm going to look up the dictionary.
So later this month, we're going to be featuring Congressman Mike Flood for a congressional report. That'll be a luncheon at the Country Club. And I'm sorry, I don't have the date off the top of my head, but we will have had all of the Lincoln, Nebraska delegation speak to us by the end of this month here. And so appreciate that. And then in August, we have our federal flyback that we do with the State Chamber and Omaha Chamber, where we have the entire state delegation come meet with us. And that's an event that takes place out of the SAC Museum every year. But on the smaller end of the spectrum, we started these coffee with the president events every month, and it's just where it's a partnership with the mill coffee that we do, and we meet up there, and we have about 10 people, right? Mm-hmm. And so you don't get lost in a room full of 300 people, 500 people, with a big speaker. And I love those. People can challenge me on what we're doing and saying and how we're shaping our policy. That's important. It makes us better. But also I'm there to quiz people on, look, what do you need? How can we help you better? Or, hey, let me introduce you to a program that can solve that. I am so excited about a program that's new to us this year called Latino Connect. Mm-hmm. The next event actually is coming up on Monday at Cornhusker Bank there on 84th and O. I believe it starts at 4:00. It's like 4 to 6. And Latino Connect is chamber business programming about how to do business and doing networking. But the sort of default language at that space is always in Spanish. Yeah. And there's a whole group of businesses that are led by Latino and Hispanic business owners that they're just more comfortable in that language. And so we've found ways to do that. Now, if you are interested in being in that space and, like me, don't speak a lick of Spanish, we have an app that's connected to our main speaker. So when we have our content going on, you can read it on an app in real time, just like you're reading a text message. It's real-time translation. It's super cool. And then when I get up and talk to the group, for folks that are more comfortable hearing my remarks or reading my remarks in Spanish, it translates the other direction. So it's a really neat way to leverage some technology. We just had our Women in Business event 2 weeks ago now. And that had 500 mostly women and a handful of men that support them. And I'm grateful for their presence too. At the Rococo Theater, we had Victoria LeBaum is a motivational speaker and spoke on the importance of having mentorship in your lives. Mm-hmm. Something that professional women that are pursuing their career, I think sometimes need some encouragement to go out and seek, and maybe in ways that are different than what men are looking for. So with all these programs, we're just trying to meet our members where they're at. Sure. Whether they have, specific needs based on sort of their position in life or who they are, or, based on industry or what their focus and interests are. We're really trying to meet this community where it's at in so many different ways. And again, this is scratching the surface. Check it out at lcoc.com at our events page. It'll give you more information.
Yeah. I was on the web this week looking at it, knowing that you were coming in. Your web page is excellent. It's really easy to navigate. The information is up to date. It's wonderful, which is so important. But I felt like I had so many questions answered there. One of the things I love most about what you just said is when you were asking them, what can we do for you to help you succeed? Yeah. I think that's so important. When you're working for somebody, if they ask you that, that's huge, right? And I love that you have that approach, because I think it's really important. It's like, and you're having coffees where we can just say, hey, Jason, this is what's going on out here in the workforce world, and what's actually happening, and the fact that you're responsive to that, listen to it, and bring up things where we can succeed, because there's things already available to us that we don't know about. Yeah. Love that.
Well, that's our obligation. Right. And I will tell you, I keep referring to this team, thank you for your compliment on the website. I promise you, I have nothing to do with it. We got a team full of comms professionals that understand that space. And so that's the access that I think our members have to people that are are doing this type of work as much as we can. We try to be, on that leading edge, just like our businesses are trying to be on the leading edge of how we leverage, these different tools and programs. And everyone there has a servant's heart for helping that business to the next level. We understand our organization is sort of a small part in the big story of Lincoln. But we love cheering for our members. We love celebrating with our members. So cool. And if need be, we're not going to love it, but we will go through the hard times with our members too, if there's a way that we can help bring stability and support to them so they can get back into the sunshine on a good day like this, right?
Well, and that's one of the most crucial things is, again, there's going to be trials and tribulations within your business. There are with mine anyway.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to know, you don't know the people to talk to, but when you have a group like the Chamber, you can connect them with people. Yeah. My wife was having a chat with somebody who's a business owner in town. They were going through a struggle, and she goes, you know what? I know somebody who I can connect you with. Yeah. And they made the connection, and now they're going to get together and help through these trials and tribulations. It is so important.
Welcome back to the 402 Business Insider. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Jason Ball. And our sponsors for this segment are the UPS stores and Red Rhino Roofing, who, by the way, they're helping me on a house and doing a fantastic job.
Oh, nice.
This is also unofficially sponsored by the Jason Ball Dance Academy.
That's right.
Jason, how are you doing today? This guy can move. He's like an energetic man.
I feel like dancing.
I just want to bundle up your energy and take a little bit of, one pill a day, and I'm good to go. Jason, I'm a new business owner. I maybe hear this segment or talking to somebody. Yeah. How do I join the Chamber? Somebody come and talk to me? Can I reach out?
Yes and yes. Look, we have a membership page on our website at lcoc.com. And so if you know already, hey, I want to join the Chamber, you can just do that online. But I would strongly recommend you want to contact Becca Fowler. Becca is our new investor relations team member, is doing an amazing job, and she will be sort of your concierge to making sure you can access all the benefits of being in the Chamber and explain a lot of it. Because again, for people that are new to it, that just haven't ever had an opportunity to know and understand what we do and how we interact with our members, it's a lot, and it's hard to digest even through a good website, right? And so sit down with Becca, have a coffee. If there's things you need to talk with me or other team members, she will be your kind of coordinator to get that set up and get access to our team. But she will walk through all the aspects of membership. But look, mostly it's based on size for membership rates. And then we have all sorts of these events that we've been talking about. We have sponsorships available for them like you would expect. And so there's visibility, programming, and opportunities that we can do as well.
That's and she's going to know where to plug you in too, because you guys have so many groups, that sometimes women in business. Well, if you don't know it's there, she's going to know where to plug you in. So very important to talk to them. So let's talk once they've joined. How do they get the most out of their membership?
Well, so I strongly recommend that even if you're doing the base membership, and we love that, I would suggest pick one thing and sponsor it as a member. And we have sponsorship packages that are affordable for a small cash sensitive business too. We did that by design. Like, pick one thing and sort of make that your business's visibility event. The other thing that we get, and we talked about it earlier, is some people legitimately say, look, I don't have time to be at a bunch of stuff. That's okay. We're working on your behalf. But I would suggest even if you can, pick one event. Pick the monthly Chamber coffee that we do that's available at no cost to our members to hear. Just pick one thing so you're engaging with the evolving business community membership is the other thing. And then look, plug in where you're passionate, because we do have opportunities and options, whether that's, some of the policy stuff that I've been talking about or all the work we're doing on the visitor industry. The best way to get value out of your membership in this Chamber of Commerce is to get involved in a way that you feel like you're contributing to shaping the future of Lincoln. That's really, at the end of the day, what this organization's about. That's what membership enables.
And it's not just business owners. I mean, if you have a salesperson, if you join, there are things for your salespeople to go do. There are things for different members of your team to go join and be part of.
Yeah.
So I think that's absolutely crucial too, is because you can't just think of it's not just business owners. There's so much that the chamber offers.
We recommend for any new member, if you have a team that's about 10 or more, give or take, you really should have about 3 people plugged into different places in the chamber.
Welcome back to the 402 Business Insider. This segment sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services and the Lincoln Airport, which I would like to plug by saying we just bought 2 tickets to San Francisco in July and saved $150 per ticket flying out of Lincoln. So do not discount flying out of Lincoln. Plus, I can sleep in and no parking.
Yeah. Cheap parking.
That's right. Well, our guest this morning's been Jason Ball.
Yeah.
It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. Like I said, wow, dude, you are smart. I love that.
Well,
who knew?
I am surrounded by an amazing team that preps me very, very well.
You're never gonna come back, are you? Like, is that Gary guy? When is he on vacation? I'll come back. Jason, this is a very short segment.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of finalize with whatever you'd like to tell us in the last minute here.
Well, look, I just want to invite anybody who's listening. If you haven't plugged into the chamber in the past, please check us out at lcoc.com. We'd love to start a relationship with you. If you're listening to this and you are a member of the Chamber of Commerce already, I just want to say thank you. We have a great privilege in doing the work that we get to do, and it is our members that enable it. And we love cheering for your businesses.
Yeah. And Gary and I are both members of the chamber, because when we tell you, you guys need to join the chamber, we're not just saying it. We're telling,
exactly.
We are living it. We've been members for quite some time, and we get more than our money's worth.
Well, membership organizations lost members during COVID. It just happened, right? And
Sure.
we lost businesses also. So if you were a member prior to COVID and you haven't come back.
Yeah.
Because, the boat's still afloat. Don't be out there in the ocean all by yourself. Collectively, we're better. I really feel strongly about that.
Yeah.
And I think so many times you hear somebody say, I don't have time to go to anything. I don't have time to do anything. You can still be part of that collective. And like you said earlier, Jason, maybe pick one thing you're going to do once a month, or 2 or 3 banquets, but get involved with the chamber. It's worth every penny you spend.
Absolutely. So are there any big events coming up? You said you had something Monday. I forgot already.
Yeah, well, we have 2 things Monday. I mentioned Latino Connect. That's our Spanish language chamber business networking program that's coming up at Cornhusker Bank on Monday at 4:00. And then also all day Monday, and sadly it's fully sold out, but we have our Chamber Golf Classic that we look forward to every year. So most of Monday I will be driving around in a golf cart thanking our members for plugging in with us, and it's a fun time. But check out our membership and events page at lcoc.com, and also go check out our newsroom page too. That's got our Business Link podcast, and so a lot of the things that we're doing and working with in the community with our partners are highlighted there too.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Very good. And I think you have another golf tournament coming up this summer, right? Did I see that?
So we'll do later this year. We'll have a YPG golf tournament, as well as our social scramble, which is intended to be focused less on like foursome golf and more on pairs of twosomes. So people get to actually meet new folks to network with.
Outstanding.
That's a great idea.
Outstanding. Well, thanks for listening, guys. You're listening to the 402 Insider. Make sure, if you're a business owner, lcoc.com, get in there, check it out. You can call Jason. You can call any of the Becca, and join up. You will be happy that you did it.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate the time. All right. Well, I see Robin is getting ready to come in here, so stay tuned for Robin and David. And you are listening to the 402 Business Insider, and we'll see you guys next week.